Hi everybody, this is the monthly top-down analysis for the Forex market. So let's have a look here at the higher time frames, daily, weekly and monthly. This is the euro dollar. So the euro dollar has dropped quite hard here, right? So it's trying to leave this band. Well, it has broken the par level and it has put in a nice big red bar. Well, in order to understand what is the, how bearish is the market, how strong are the bears? Well, when they basically broke this level, well, they were running, tested the level from below, and then going to the par level. So this is the week, right, where the par level was broken. So now again we've got a test, basically coming to a test of the par level. Now one time frame lower on the daily, well, we can see there's quite strong bearishness here. This is an S1. That's a one time frame higher. This is an S1, one time frame higher. It has basically made its momentum move, reach its target. Well, now we see a strong pullback, right? So that's a relatively strong pullback, basically of same strength and this down move. So now basically now it's a decision, right? Whether we really broke the par level, whether the bears can keep it below. Currently we're sitting here at 21 resistance on the way down, a support on the way down. So let's see how that plays out. We could still get back here into the band. That would then be a test of the band, testing par level. But for me, it rather looks like we're on the way south here for at least a couple of more months. Now let's have a look at a couple of other pairs. We had a big pound event. We had this crisis in the UK, where they came out with new tax legislation plans, and that basically dropped the pound in value. So euro pound up. That's a spike, and this spike basically came back quite a bit. Well, this spike is here at an important level. That's an S1, right? And this spike basically tried to run the first drop run levels. Well, it could not. So now we're back to the breakout level. Now let's have a look at a couple of other yen pairs. Euro yen. Euro yen is on the way up. Well, the yen pairs have been super weak, and we saw this central bank, Japanese central bank intervention, Bank of Japan intervening for a strong yen. Well, this was this reaction. Reaction came down to this support level, and it bounced off, right? In hindsight, looking at the weekly, well, nothing special happening here. We just get a big red bar. It bounces off the 21, and it's about it's going for a new high, right? So we might actually see the central bank coming in and intervening again. I don't know where they intervene. It might be around number the 145. So it might be interesting to see how the bank is what the bank is doing when we reach that level again. We are clearly on the way up here for more yen bearishness. Now let's have a look at euro odd. Euro odd. So this was the important level, a big number, many touches. But we had a drop here too, right to the level, to the pip, and then we see a pullback. So basically we can take that out, and now we are back in pullback mode, right? We've been overextended, so now it looks like we want to meet the 200 moving average here. Now let's have a look at US yen. The yen pairs are interesting, right? Because they had this huge bull run, yen weakness. So currently we're forming here kind of an S2 pattern, right? This again is the central bank intervention. The intervention level is probably on the US yen. So this is the level, the 145. Well, again, it's the same level, 145 here. Let's see what happens if we get there, right? So during the last couple of days, we actually have reached that level. So this is interesting situation. We might see that this coming week or weeks to come. Now, these are the two interesting pairs, right? The crossing pound versus the yen. So here we see the drop, pound weakness, versus yen strength, and then it turns around, right? Well, if I see something like this, I would like to know, okay, how does that look like in the higher time frames? Because this is an S type of pattern. Well, that's a huge drop, right? Well, we don't trade these big stops, but still, this is an S1 pattern, right? And if you look at the higher time frames, well, we are in uptrends, so it looks like this was just a test of the 21 price getting volatile around the 200. So again, looking at the higher time frames, well, we see something is going on here. But on the monthly, nothing special. We're still on the way upward, and the bulls are basically keeping well above the 200. So that is very bullish for pound strength against the yen. This one as well, an interesting chart, the weak pound against the strong Australian dollar. Well, this has turned around as well. Well, what happened here? Well, we had a couple of stop run levels, and we were talking about this level before, right? If this breaks, we should see a downward momentum. Well, we saw it within 1 day, 2 days, basically these 2 days. Well, let's have a look now at the monthly. And on the monthly, well, we have this series of stop run levels, right? So this big move basically tested this level and got to that level and then got rejected at these stop run levels. So we could actually have seen here a much bigger bar. So that now we're in pullback mode, and this might take now a couple of weeks consolidating just to digest this big drop, so that volatility calms down again. So this is another one interesting pair, pound versus New Zealand. Again, here we've been in a range, right? And this pound drop basically, well, that was testing the range, and the bar closed. The bar closed well high. That's a bullish bar. So that used to be a very big red bar, right? So the bulls, that shows the strength of the bulls. They've been able to keep the closing prices in this tight range. Well, we've got a bigger range here on the weekly, and now with this up move, well, we're testing the upper range. So there's a lot of compression here. It's kind of boiling in a pot, right? And now we have to look at the higher time frame, the monthly. Well, this is the boiling pot. We've been talking about that for many months, right? There's a lot of accumulated energy here. Well, this didn't break it, right? So the bears had the opportunity to really run a long way down here, because they were waiting so long. That's clearly a bearish scenario here with a couple of short patterns. Well, now we're back up again here. Well, this might take a couple of more months now, right, to consolidate and try the next attack to the downside. But this attack basically failed, right? The bulls are strong, and they might even leave this sideways range on the weekly to the upside. Now let's have a last look at Australian dollar Kiwi. So here we've got this special situation on the monthly, that we're basically here breaking out of a many year-long range. So that is Australian dollar strength against the Kiwi. So we are breaking out, and now we are right here at this stop run level, and we might see further momentum to develop. Well, we already see increased momentum after these small bullish bars. That's a big bar, right? So let's see now if there is consecutive bullishness coming into the market, and interesting weeks ahead. Thank you.